Simon Jordan has blasted Celtic and Rangers and their fan allocation for the old firm and the feud, and he's called for SPFL sanctions. Welcome back to Folk Football. We're covering everything. You know, it is a slow, let's say slow news week. It's a slow news month. Take it easy. Not to Boris, we're reading this entire article. We're more here for his comments, but we know the issue with the Rangers and the Celtic scenario because there's no tickets being dished out now, of course, right? Rangers started this mess a few years ago when we couldn't buy a win in this fixture. That's just the reality, you know, it is. And now, as of recently, like Celtic are just simply refusing to dish out tickets or refusing to even take tickets. So, you know, that is a problem going forward. Hopefully it will be resolved. Like, I know there's arguments for, well, I don't want that, I don't want this, right? No matter what you think, right? This issue should be resolved, and it shouldn't be Rangers or Celtic deciding it. It should be the governing body. But the fact of the matter is this: they couldn't run a bath. All right, that's the reality. Now, if there was actually a competent FA, even though Rangers and Celtic, some will argue that they're bigger than the league, and you know, you might be right, you might be wrong. I don't think you should be in a situation where these decisions actually, like, it's more the clubs that decide it. It should be a case of the SFA are like, well, if you're not willing to go back to this allocation, then we are deducting, you know, we are hitting you with a sanction. And that's what it should be. Like, these teams shouldn't dictate to the SFA what they're doing, and that goes for any derby, right? Well, that goes for any game in our leagues. It shouldn't realistically be down to any club. It's ridiculous, but here, when you give them an inch, they take a mile, all right? And obviously, it looks like the 750 could be getting brought back, but yeah. Simon Jordan is insistent that that is not good enough. I don't think the 7,000 is happening. Now here, maybe the European allocation could happen. You know, it's going to happen. He says, I don't think in 50, 60,000 stadiums situated within miles of one another, that 700 fans, I don't think 750, which is about 1% of the stadium, is representative of the support. There's another indication how Scottish football doesn't run itself the way it should. Its leadership at the top should be saying to Celtic and Rangers, we're not asking you, we're telling you. And if you do not deal with these issues, we're going to start looking at sanctioning you. These are the biggest games in Scottish football. These are the games that they mark what Scottish football represents. It's appalling. It's an appalling look. It's an appalling management. It's appalling that they've been able to behave like children for this period. It's a terrible endorsement of what Scottish football should be. And for once, what I just said is pretty much what he's just said. So I actually agree with Simon Jordan for once, and it is a fucking disgrace. No two teams should dictate the land, even though they kind of do, right? But the SFA should put down, right, this is what we're doing. Minimum allocation of blank, whatever numbers they want, right? And that should be it, sorted. But we know it's never ever going to be like that. Then we had Jim White, and the guy that does the big Scottish football podcast, Ewan Cameron, he does a pretty good impersonation of Jim White. Oh, Martin. Oh, transfer deadline day. Oh, it's a big deal for Rangers. Lawrence Shanklin. Oh, no, it's no Lawrence Shanklin. No, Rangers don't sign Lawrence Shanklin. Oh, my spray tan. My spray tan's making me orange. Oh, Ewan. Oh, we're here to report on the transfer news. Let's talk about Boca Juniors in River Plate and how they don't have fans. Well, he actually said they do have fans, where in the reality is, I believe, I don't know which one of them, but one of them has not had fans in the stadium for like 10 years. So he tried to be like, oh, imagine if Boca Juniors and River Plate didn't have away fans. Well, the reality is, yeah, and you know, English fans can cry and be like, well, oh dear, that's why your derby is insignificant to our West Midlands derby, because you have no fans. Fuck off, right? See, that doesn't work, right? The fact that, you know, even though it's not like the sole reason, right, why there's no fans is down to like pure hatred and because it's the biggest rivalry ever, man. Fans turn up, and the 750 that turned up at Parkhead go back in body bags. So the 750 that turn up at Ibrox go back in body bags, right? But no game in England, right, is ever going to get this treatment. It's never going to, you know, Manchester United, right? Oh, so that's a poor example because their derbies are dead. You know, if you listen to Big Sidwell and Karen Kearney, man, you'd think that Manchester City and Liverpool against Manchester United are the biggest games, biggest fucking derbies, man, in world football. But the point is, right, two reasons. Those clubs are never going to be able to dictate that, and also the rivalry never warrants it. at the end of the day. Even though Manchester United have been on absolute scuddings at the both ends of those teams, the reality is the fact that no fans are allowed into the Old Firm just highlights the significance of it. And yeah, I know it did start with very petty reasons, and now it's just the pettiness has continued for years now, and I really hope it gets resolved. I agree with Simon Jordan, but yeah, who knows what will happen? He snapped at them, and I agree. Folk football agrees, and I think most Old Firm fans will agree. I get it. There'll be season ticket holders, either stadium that don't really want to give up their ticket, but here, that's some things change.